Oops. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today in Rovinj in Croatia. It's a privilege to be here and to visit your beautiful country. And it's especially humble to be here in front of this audience since you're all marketing professionals and working with branding, communication and PR and whatever you do. And that makes it a little bit tougher for me here to be here today. I've been in Croatia a couple of times before and invited by this team 2 times to Zagreb as well, which is it's super good. So I'm really privileged to be here. I have about 30 minutes to talk about the future of branding, and my name was introduced already before. I couldn't understand all the Croatian, unfortunately, but I heard some of the brands, and I heard the word innovation somewhere, whatever it was. But I think the best way to explore who I am is to head into ChatGPT. 2 years ago, this would have said Google, but now it says ChatGPT. And I have no idea what kind of answer you would get. I knew what I got, but I think it's different here in Croatia than it is in Sweden. So we will talk about the frontier of awesome, the future of brand building in an AI-driven world. This is a really big subject, and I could probably have spent the next 12 hours talking about the frontier, and then the next 12 hours talking about AI-driven world, and then maybe the next, I don't know, week talking about awesome. So I'll try to compress this into 30 minutes. So please excuse me if it's really fast. And we have 10 minutes afterwards, so save your questions for later maybe. So these 3 words, frontier, awesome, AI-driven world, I think it's super interesting. I've been working with the internet since 1994. I've been coding the web, I've been working with print, I've been working with retail, I've been working with interior design, but I've always been in love with the internet since the first day I used it. Back then it was black and white, and it was pixels, and it was like saving kilobytes, not megabytes or gigabytes or terabytes like today. You actually had to take away some of the pixels in order to make the GIF work. But now we're in this AI-driven revolution, and I think that's almost more interesting than internet, even if it's maybe a little bit scary. But I'd like to take you first to a trip to Indonesia. This is me surfing in an island, outside an island called Telos Islands. So you travel from Sweden, you go to Jakarta, then you go to Doha, then Jakarta, you stay for a night, then you fly to Medan, then you stay overnight, then you fly to Nias, then you go on a car, then you drive a car for 5 hours, then you wait in the harbor, then you take a small boat for 6 hours, and then you're in this place. It's really good. So I even taught myself Indonesian in order to go here because no one understands English in these islands. In fact, when I surfed this wave, in front of it was grown-up people throwing rocks at us and young kids naked jumping really happy that someone was there at all. But what does this have to do with the new frontier of brand building and AI revolution? Well, when I go to these trips, I bring a lot of surfboards, and I've always liked to draw stuff. And one of the best canvas in the world is a new, fresh surfboard. It comes with a mail, it's all white, and then you bring up your Sharpie pens and you start scribbling something down. And I always had a really big problem working with art because I can't really decide when I'm done. So that's why I think I'm more into branding and advertising, because the client will tell you it's time to deliver. But here, the good thing is, when I'm about to go on a trip, I have to spray clear varnish on the boards, and that way I'm done, so I have to finish the boards. On a normal trip, I would bring somewhere around 4 to 5 boards, because it's different kind of waves. And this is one of the favorite boards back maybe in 10, 20 years ago. So I put this one into ChatGPT and I said, make a comic rendering of these characters. So that old photo, and then you get this in 30 seconds. It's quite amazing, and yet we're not amazed. I have this old drawing that I draw, I bring it up to ChatGPT, and boom, I have a 3D rendering that would take at least an artist 3-4 days to make it exactly as I want. Then I bring it into Sora, and we add some music, and then it's 3D animations. And I think this sums up the whole revolution of AI. that old drawing on my board, I've uploaded into these tools, and that's today. Sora has been open for the public around 2.5, 3 months. In 2 years from now, we'll probably do 60 seconds, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, I'm not sure. But it's going to be very, very easy to create content. I use Midjourney, that's an image rendering tool with AI. Here are some pictures that I found that I think is interesting. You have all these pictures that you can create, and you just write the prompt, tell them you want a banana that eats a banana, and you get this. If you would go to a photographer or a 3D artist, it would be a very big, expensive project. Or you take another picture, maybe you want to illustrate an eye. Friends of mine say, you know, this internet thing, AI can't really make really good pictures. No one can tell that this is not AI. This is the quality you get with Midjourney 7.0 that was launched about a month ago. You can create pictures of concepts. Sometimes you just do the concepts to show your client, this is what we want to do. What's really scary is that in my profession, I'm starting even to sidestep the creators that I used to work with, because it's just easier for me to work with an AI and create whatever I want, even if it's good or bad. Or you create just a simple portrait of someone. But all in all, these four images sums up the potential with AI already now. And then since you can bring them in to, for example, Sora, you can make them come alive, and you see all these concepts out there. What I think is interesting is when I scroll through this, in Sweden we have something called hötorgskonst. It's a Swedish word that says that when everyone got access to paint colors, they started selling really ugly paintings on squares in Stockholm. And this is a little bit the same. You can see all this content, and I can technically be amazed that you can do it. But it's very few of these ideas that really sticks with me, that I feel like, wow, this is really, really unique. But still, if anyone can create anything, who will win? This will be the big challenge. I think we've seen democratization of content, we've seen it of open source code, we've seen it of a lot of different tools, but now we're seeing democratization of creating real, imagery, movies, music, coding on a higher level. This will be a big challenge for a lot of companies, but also for a lot of people like us that works with this. So therefore, I think it's important to talk strategy first. I think this is what it's all about. This is what separates the really strong brands from the really bad brands. Because in the end, the consumer is a little bit like this girl, whatever it is, that I created in Sora. But it's a consumer that is without identity until they start dressing up in things. No matter what you think you are, we are all a product of our consumption. Some people will say, I'm not, but they still wear things that signals to other people who they are and what they are all about. And the only way to do this is that by basically wearing brands that are associated with design, with colors, with typography, with language, with tonality, with influencers, with ambassadors, with sports, with activities, whatever. But all these brands, they are more like black holes until someone fills them with some sort of content. And I think that's the big challenge, to understand who shall we follow and why do we follow someone and how do we do that in the best possible way. Because if I put this picture up that says, follow us to a man and a woman from maybe, I don't know, Paris or something, and it's some pink color with some old, I think it's Didot I used, an old classic typography font, you either follow them, or you follow them, or you follow them. It's just 3 pictures with different typography and different colors, but your heart immediately reacts and feel like, oh, I like the one to the right. They look really trustworthy, and they look like they like sustainability outdoors. Whereas someone else in here will think like, oh, the couple to the left, they look trendy and cool. I want to be like them. But in the end, this is a little bit what branding is all about. So it's all about defining your customer archetype. When I work with the projects for my clients, there's a lot of different tools that you can use and models. And I use a big amount of them, but I use one every time I'm in a project, so I wanted to share that one. And it's called the Universal Archetype, and it was created by Carl Jung, who was living between 1875 and 1961. So here I am at the conference talking about AI and the future of branding, and I'm bringing up Carl Jung from, I don't know when he did this, but somewhere between 75 and 61. He was a Swiss psychiatrist. So he created the 12 universal archetype, and they're exceptional when you want to think about how to create your brand and how the look and feel should be of your brand. They look something like this. You have the innocent, the guru, the adventurer, the outlaw, the visionary, the hero, lover, clown, everyman, caregiver, ruler, and the creative. So these are tools for a timeless connection with your audience. What it is all about is that what Carl Jung found was no matter if you live in India, in the United States, Sweden, or Croatia, we all more or less react to communication and colors and fonts and sounds and tonality the same way. And he called these the 12 archetypes. If you put some brands on top of them, here's a couple of brands. You will find, for example, Ferrari in the bottom corner there in the lover position. You know how a Ferrari car looks. Super, beautiful, very designed. They even have a glass over the engine so people can look inside the engine and see, oh, it's such a beautiful engine. And then you have Mini on top in the creative corner. There's another car brand. They have the English flag as their headlights. They're super fun. They're quite creative. All their ads are super creative. They use a lot of different colors in their ads and so on. So no matter where you are in this, brands have a different position, and these are just some examples. So when I work with a brand, I try to find where should we position your brand and towards what target group. If you, for example, want to target your brand towards the outlaw, maybe you want tough people, you want to break a lot of rules, maybe you want tattoos, maybe you want, I don't know, like your hair everywhere. You definitely don't want to turn up in a suit because these people will be alienated by you. Whereas if you work with IKEA that I have worked with, it's more of a caregiver position. They do the one thing that you're not supposed to do in marketing. They want to target everyone all over the world. And we, of course, know that people who want to buy really expensive furniture will say like, IKEA, I don't want IKEA, that's really cheap. But IKEA do not alienate you. Whereas the most expensive furniture brand in the world, they say you're not allowed to buy our product if you like IKEA because we are very special. This is not anything, has nothing to do with right and wrong. It's just a definition of where the consumer are. So let's sell some cat food to these people. And you're like, what the heck? Cat food? That's the most funny thing I could come up with to render because I have a new cat at home and the cat is really lovely, so I created a lot of cat icons. Anyway, so we have some illustration of, you can see the adventurer out there. He's a down jacket, he has like a bandana, he's walking in the forest and everything is super beautiful. Whereas down to the left you have the clown and in the bottom the lover position. And you have the friends up there in the caregiver position. So we are selling cat food to these people. We have the everyman. I would design the food something like this. Of course, I just generated it really quickly with AI because I didn't have time to create all the packaging for the presentation. But this is very secure. This customer, he doesn't want to do the wrong thing. He wants to pay a good price. So it should look fairly cheap. It should say very clearly on the box what it is so he doesn't make a fool of himself when he exits the store. Whereas the innocent, that archetype you want to flirt with. You want to create something that is very beautiful, It has to be something that that person can bring home and maybe place in front of other people when they visit. So they can say, oh, that's a beautiful cat food you have. Yes, it's very nice. It's sustainable also and very friendly to my cat. Whereas the lover position is more like something really cool. It's more like the Ferrari, super designed, minimalistic. We're using other materials and so on. And when we're selling that to the lover position, I made a quick ad. It's not an ad, but a small little dance. Classical music, it's very smooth, very nice. But then, we might want to disrupt that market.
I hate the slopes, I'm a mountain shredder.
So we bring on some hip-hop into this, and suddenly we're selling a totally different experience. This is what branding is all about. It's about winning the minds and the hearts of the consumer. It's the most important thing. And the thing is, the thing that makes my mind and especially my heart move is very connected to me as an individual. So if I'm in one of those archetypes and I'm communicated to in the wrong way, I'm going to react as that's something I do not want. And the fault we often do is we keep on switching because we follow trends. And I see my biggest, what I need to think about when I work with the customers, I can't think of myself. I have to think about the brand and what do the brand need and what shall I create for the brand, because that's the only way you can continuously build a really strong brand, to do the right thing for the brand and its audience. Many agencies I've seen, they do the wrong thing because they have young creatives and they think like, oh, I want to create an ad with a hip hop song. That's what I want to do. And then when a customer comes, they try that idea over and over and over till someone says like, yeah, let's do one with a hip hop song. And you end up doing the wrong ad because you just did it for yourself, not your audience. And then we want to create things that is awesome. And awesome, that's a big word. Huh? If you look it up in, I think it's Wikipedia, because I always look up things in Wikipedia. Awesome, the explanation, a high-energy word that packs the punch of a superhero entrance, a guitar solo at the climax of a concert, or the final twist in your favorite film. Awesome is used to describe something so impressive, exciting, and out of this world cool that it makes you go, wow, and often involuntary. I can't pronounce that. Anyway, that last part, that's the most important thing. Whatever I do, but it has to be on brand, I'm aiming for this feeling. That woman here, she sees something, very, I don't know what it is, but then she can't help to smile. When I create retail experience, I always look for this, and then I visit the retail shop that I worked with afterwards and sit somewhere and look, and people come in like, this is really nice. Because then it goes in your heart. And if you can get that final feeling that people can't avoid to smile, then you will have won them over and they will start falling in love with your brand. It's like any conversation, or if you go into the bar later today and you talk to someone that is boring, you're going to leave. But if it ends up being that this is pretty nice, you're going to stay. And one person that really knew how to do this in the best possible way was Alexander McQueen. Alexander McQueen, one of the greatest fashion designers we've had. Unfortunately, he's dead now. But in 1999, he had held a legendary spring fashion show. I'm going to show a little bit to you. So here we have Alexander McQueen. He put two robots that looks like they're about to attack the woman. And Shalom Harlow, who is the model, she's being attacked by these two robots. They're starting to spray paint her all over. And then suddenly they stop. And now Alexander McQueen has created the dress in front of the entire audience. And it's an enormously strong emotional impact for the people sitting there. It's still an emotional impact for me. It's entertainment-grade storytelling. You can't stop following this story as it happens. You have these two robotic, they represent technology that is about to take over fashion, and he wants to show you have to resist them. She starts walking. It's visually magnetic. You get stuck. The dress is visually magnetic. It's graffiti. It's rebellious. So it's purposeful and bold. And it connects with different cultures. It connects with, resisting technology in fashion. It connects with graffiti and rebelliousness. It's a fashion show that is happening live in front of your eyes. She's being sprayed all over, but she still perceives, and fashion wins. This is a really good example of awesome communication. This is, in one sense, branding for Alexander McQueen. Here's another example of strong communication. So this is David Guetta driving the Porsche Taycan in Dubai, in one of the biggest solar energy parks in the world. You have influencers, you have music, you have solar energy cultural collection, you have gameplay-like visuals that looks like you're about to play a video game in Gran Turismo or something. It's super, super strong. It's emotional impact. It's entertainment-grade storytelling. It's visually magnetic. It's purposeful and bold. And it's cultural connection. So what does Porsche do when they want to communicate another car? For example, this one. This is a 911, runs on petrol, not electricity. Emotional impact, entertainment-grade storytelling, visually magnetic, it's purposeful and bold, and it's cultural connection. But in this case, compared to the other one, it connects to the heritage of Porsche. It attracts people that don't care about electricity and sustainability. It says the 70s edition. It's not by chance. The people who were born in the 70s, all through the 70s, are between 55 and 45 years old. They're probably in the exact right time to buy a Porsche. But they're the people that don't give a shit about sustainability, obviously, because this is just petrol. So you have one archetype here, another one here, the same brand. And personally, I fall in love with both of them. You can see in the right one that they're constantly throwing a lot of references to culture. It says heritage on the logo, 70s racing typography. Whereas David Guetta is more towards the future. So when you look at these two, you can see how Porsche is sort of defining their archetypes depending on what kind of product they're selling. To the left, where electricity, sports car electrified. It's the future. I care about the future. That's what you signal when you drive a Taycan. Whereas the other one, it's petrol. It's the spirit of the 70s. It's nostalgia, and I care about the car. Obviously not, the future, since you didn't give a shit. It's super interesting to see the same brand. And these two ads are currently running on YouTube, both of them. And I had to search for one of them because obviously they think I belong in the 70s section. Have you heard of Gentle Monster? Some of you are nodding. Super exciting brand from South Korea. I was there a couple of months ago visiting my daughter who was working there, and I ran into one of these stores. This brand is was listed in 2018 as one of the world's 50 most innovative companies by the MIT Technology Review. They do glasses, and these celebrities here, we have Pharrell, we have Kanye West, Tilda Swinton, Gigi Hadid, and Kendall Jenner. They're wearing their glasses because they think it's really, really cool. Super early adopters. They do fantastic collaboration, and what's interesting here is that you can see they do collaboration with Paris fashion designers. They do collaborations with Tekken, that's gaming, and they do it with the football stars like Son, who plays in Tottenham, and the Barbie movie. So depending on where they want to position themselves as a brand, they just go straight into different archetypes, and they just explode the products around those archetypes. And they do products like the one to the left, all the way down to the one to the right. What's interesting, though, is when we look at these products, they look kind of very different. The one to the left is obviously very rebellious, and you would really have to dare to wear one. Whereas to the right, it looks more anonymous. But what you're wearing isn't really glasses. What you're wearing is an identity. You show people around here that I have Gentle Monster. I'm in the know. I know what's the latest trend. I know what you should wear. I'm ahead of the curve. That's what you're signaling. When Gentle Monster are doing stuff, They're not holding back at all. This is, for example, in one of the stores, and I visited another store, and it looks like this. It's more of a museum with really cool creative explorations than actually a sunglass shop. You can, of course, buy sunglasses, but the big thing in every store is that they have a different experience in every store all around the world. And it's made together with, in this case, it's technology. In other cases, it's just classical art, but always super creative. And we looked at this slick pair of glasses before. That's one of the glasses from the collection, together with my son Margiela from Paris. Let's look how the video look on their website. Just a short video, but I think what's super interesting is that it shows that everything they do is on point when it comes to being disruptive, being differentiating, and doing something that is bold and rebellious. So, for example, they have this idea with this violin. It's very classic, but then it just goes south somewhere halfway. The visual details of it is super interesting. You see that little heart under, in the violin. The material, those bolts on the frames of the glasses, that's not a coincidence. Someone has bent those to show that we're working with old traditional material. We're not producing anything new. We're doing this all the way down into every single detail. In the end of the video, you saw how they snapped the strings of the violin. So obviously they're prepared to destroy things. On the side, they, in the video, very clearly show who they're working with, and they end the video with a very clear pack shot. The same way we talked about earlier, don't hide your products. A brand is all about enforcing the products and making sure that people find that product. Because in the end, we all go online, we search for things, and we have to find them ourselves. Before, we used to go into store and someone said, "Hello, can I help you?" "Yeah, I saw this pair of glasses, they had a bolt somewhere in the side." "Ah, you're talking about Maison. Come on over here, I show you." But now we're all alone in front of the screen and we have to find this. So it has to be super clear, very, very clear to the consumer what they should look for. So to sum things up, we've talked about 6 things and I want to highlight them before I go. The first one is define your audience. What I mean with that is it's very clear, you think. But it's what I said in the beginning. It's so easy not to start with really clearly defining your audience and make sure that everything you create is in line with your definition of who you're targeting. If you don't do that, you're designing brands for yourself, not for the audience. You have to be able to do one campaign that looks like, I don't know, from the 70s, and another one that looks like it's from the future. With the same creators, for the same agency, for the same brand, or however you do it. You have to have create an emotional impact. It has to be something that you remember, otherwise no one will ever care. Especially in the days, on YouTube they say we're down to 5 seconds before people change. I think on TikTok it's down to half a second or something. Then people just keep on scrolling. No one stays with content today if it's not really strong and really creates an emotional impact. It has to be entertainment-grade storytelling. It has to be a story that is super good and it has to be very well done. That doesn't mean that it has to look good. It could look really shitty if that's on brand. But then you have to make sure it looks shitty all the way. So people understand that you're taking this really seriously. It may have to make people stick to the content. It has to show purpose and be bold. We have to be very transparent with what we want. We have to dare to take risks. We have to dare to be rebellious, and we have to do something that no one has ever seen, because we will find all the competitors in the world within seconds online, nowadays in ChatGPT, obviously. And the cultural connection is super, super important. I cannot stress that enough. Whatever you do, make sure that you understand the culture of your target audience first, and then just dig into this culture and do it like in the best possible way, because they will immediately understand if you don't understand them at all. Adopt AI, win hearts, and always be awesome. That's the most important point. I have 23 seconds left, and I will celebrate it with this fantastic song. Thank you very much.